engaged in the production and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. And opinions expressed by callers, guests, and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of the Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project. Black Talk Radio is new black media for the new millennium.
Good morning. Welcome to today's Entrepreneur. This is your host, Andrea James, and I have to tell you that this is a wonderful opportunity for me. My dreams are coming true, so one of the first things I'd like to give thanks to Father God and Him getting me to this point. If it weren't for Him, I wouldn't be here, and most of us wouldn't be here either if it weren't for Him. So this is my debut show. I am a virgin again today. Yay! And I am so excited. And today's show is called Today's Entrepreneur. And I have to also give thanks to Black Talk Radio Network.com and the technical person that's backing me up and really talking me through this, Scotty Reed. He's my right-hand person today. So I want to thank you, Scotty, for helping me out today. Hopefully people will be calling into the show and listening. I've been calling and telling all my family and friends throughout the West Coast, East Coast. Matter of fact, I called one childhood friend, and they texted me back, I'm in Italy on vacation. So I'm not mad at him for being on vacation with his lovely family. But this show is about entrepreneurs. I want to give a voice to entrepreneurs and give them a platform for the entrepreneurs in business, whether they be little itty bitty or they be adults. There's no cap on being an entrepreneur. There's no age cap, no gender cap, no race discrimination in being an entrepreneur. And today's show, before I forget, it's called Stepping Out on Faith. And that's what I did, was step out on faith. I had an opportunity some years ago to run a nonprofit organization TV show. I had 2 guests on, and after I had those 2 guests on the show host was so excited with who I had on the show. She said, Andrea, would you be interested in helping me out with my it was a nonprofit internet TV show on cable? And I thought about it for a second, and I said yes. And at that point, I realized that there was an opportunity that was laying in my lap. And I said, sure, let's go full speed ahead. And I didn't know the first thing about running a TV show, but at that point it hit me, and I said, let's go for it. And I have not turned back since. And at the opportunity that was laid in my lap was to be a talent coordinator. And eventually I end up doing everything for the show except directing and hosting. And I loved every second of it. And it turned into me doing an entrepreneur, not entrepreneur, but doing a internship in my 40s. I never even thought about it. But there again, when the opportunity presented itself, I said, wow, opportunity is knocking on my door. And I said, let me open it and let's go. And I've just been on full speed ahead ever since then. I have my own production company, Era James Productions, and this is a dream for me to support entrepreneurs of all kinds. I connect people with business, and business with business, and I've been doing it for the last 25 years. And I network and collaborate on the part of entrepreneurs. I do it on my sleep now. It's second nature. A lot of people know that that's the talent that I have, is connecting people with people, people with business, and business with business. And it's I know people from on restaurateurs, authors. A friend of mine, I talked to him yesterday, and his book is out, um, and he's going to be a guest on my show. Um, People that have franchises, Juicy Juice Bar, all kinds. Solar energy company. A friend of mine who's invented a product that can detect electrical wires in the fires, anything electrical, up to 8 hours before the fire happens. Um, uh, Other people that I know have invented, they're putting together a solar powered car. What's that all about? So I know a plethora of people that I am so excited to be knowing. People that real estate with a twist. Um, just and I'm also going to be supporting young entrepreneurs from I'll say under 18 all the way down to the littlest babies, because they all, if they have a desire and they have been given the opportunity to place in their heart, in their mind, by our creator, an idea that will help them live their dreams in the future. They want to be a motivational speaker, an author, or if they have a recipe, or some they work with their hands. They're an inventor, artist. They work with clay or whatever their idea is. I want to support those young entrepreneurs, also designers too. So I'm opening up my today's entrepreneur for basically the whole family, and I'm doing it at 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and also 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I figured Monday morning, you're either at work by 8 o'clock, you're on your way there, or if you're working from home, you're already set up and ready to go by 8 o'clock. But it's an excellent time, and Monday morning is the day we hit the ground running, and something should we should be passionate about something that gets us up every morning. And I'm in business because entrepreneurs are in business, and I realized that corporate America could not afford me what I needed in the way of my gift to other people, which is as I meet people, I'm listening on one side, and on the other side, I'm putting them in my database as to how I can better help them, if I can help them, and then we just go from there. And once you have Andrea James behind you and believe in you along with the Father, it's off and cracking. So I just want to thank you for all the entrepreneurs worldwide that are listening or not listening to this show or listening in the future. I want to thank you for stepping out on faith whenever that was for you, and that you are living your dreams, because when I hear people say, I wish I dream, I turn to them and I say, wishes and dreams do come true. And for me, on this day, one of my dreams is coming true, and I am so excited. And I look forward to having my guest on in the future. And I don't know if my guest Scotty Reed can ever chime in, but when he can, I would love to interview him as to what he's doing, why he's doing Black Talk Radio Network, how long he's been in business. And I was introduced to him at the beginning of the summer through another individual. Her name is Yolanda Adams. She has another show on Black Talk Radio Network. And she was saying, Andre, have you ever thought about doing a radio show? And I said, you know what, I had. And at that point, the seed it started to grow again because that seed has been dormant. But now the seed is watered, and here I am on the radio. Mommy, I got an internet radio show. And it's just blowing my mind. But I'm here today to support entrepreneurs. And just that word, entrepreneurs, to me carries a lot of weight. When you can step out on faith and do what it is that you want to do, whether you have to start working it in the evening, on the weekends, nurture that seed, give it root, but I ask that you never give up and follow your dreams because and you'll get there one step at a time. And that's all we can do, even if you fail at it. Get up and start going again. Bill Gates and Mr. Bloomberg, they won't even talk to entrepreneurs unless they have failed in business 2 times. Wow, how about that? And it's in failing, you just turn around and get back up on your feet, get back in the chair, get back on the saddle, as they say, and just keep it moving, ever forward. Look forward always in your future and only look back to learn from your past.
So, Miss
And
James,
there's,
this
yes,
this is
welcome, Scotty. Thank you for chiming in.
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. So I can attest that the first business venture that I started in, well, I shouldn't say, should I say the legally licensed business I started in? Yeah,
I love it.
the first legally licensed business that I started certainly did fail, and it failed within that first year. And I was attempting to get into sort of like the retail business. I was buying different products, wholesale, and I had an office, and but I would mainly go out to flea markets and what have you. And it was right after I had got out the military, and it failed. I was not prepared for everything. Um, I should have did more planning and asked for more help. But it was a learning experience, so I shouldn't say that it failed in that respect. Because I did learn some valuable lessons from that business failure. The reason that I say legally licensed business, I don't want anybody to think that I was a drug dealer or anything like
That
that.
was the first thing that came to my mind.
No,
And I don't need to take that personal, but that they say a lot of people can benefit from that right away.
yeah, and certainly many people have done that, and I don't want to get political or anything, but no, I wasn't selling drugs, but I was working at a call center. I'm not going to say the company's name, and it was probably about maybe 300 employees, something like that. And I had came across, well, I had a connection in China from a prior job that I had working in the sourcing department for a textile company. So I made contacts with manufacturers or representatives of manufacturing companies overseas, primarily in places like Vietnam and China. And so that place went out of business, and that's how I winded up at Sprint. And I wanted to make some extra money, so I was able to get some of those what they call um, I think they call them seconds in the industry, where it has sort of like a small defect or something. So
Sure.
I would get these name brand shoes that had little minor defects, and I would sell them to my fellow employees. I had a little catalog that they could order the shoes and what have you, but that was not legally licensed. So, but it certainly I have seen other people do the same thing. So that's that. What on one of the programs we have called Tando Radio Show. That's like that street market. That street market where people who are not participating in the mainstream economy, there's that secondary economy, and certainly I was participating in that.
That's the first time I've ever heard it called secondary economy. Wow. That's wow. That's puts a whole nother spin on it. Secondary secondary? Wow. That's kind of is that could that also fit into the black market?
Yeah, but I don't like that particular term.
Right.
Yeah, cause why
Gotcha.
everything black gotta be bad? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no,
And when
no,
you
no. Of course.
when they say that, just the definitions that they attach everything that's bad or evil is black, or no, this is no. I call it the street market or the secondary economy.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's they have it's unfortunate there's knockoffs of all kind that are out there nowadays with different stitching, if it's handbags and so forth and so on. But everybody's got to find a way to feed their family or do what it is they need to do. A lot of people that are, as far as entrepreneurs go, the Jamaicans, they wear a lot of hats, and they're the mayor of the city, cab driver, uh, wash clothes. They do what 7 or 8 different things, but that's when you really look at it, they're hustling and they do what they need to do. Or if they have, I see the carts on the corners that the Latinos or the Mexican or Spanish speaking, they buy the fruit and they cut it up and during the hot days, and there's you got an industry right there. So you got to be creative, right?
Yeah,
And
I
think outside the box, and that sounds like what you did.
yeah, like people
Think outside the
say,
box.
the old saying goes, don't knock the hustle. So I don't knock other people's hustle, whether it's on the street level or whatever it is that they're doing, especially if I'm unable to provide employment for them, because, like you said, people have to eat. It costs to live. Living is not free in this country or any country for that matter that I've been to. So I don't knock anybody's hustle. I do try to tell them to be smart, and even in the street market, have ethics.
Well, let me ask you this: what from where you were there, how did you get to where you are now in this industry?
Well, I was kind of forced into it. Um, I've unfortunately had many different jobs. I don't want to go into the reasons, but I've worked in several different industries. And so at the time I was doing construction work, I had just gotten a promotion to work on a bridge crew. So that means that we go in and take out old bridges and put in new bridges, which is plenty of work for that all over this country with ancient bridges. I mean, we would come across bridges, I would come across bridges, and they would have like a marker in the cement that says something like, this bridge was built in 1930s. And I'm like, wow, 1930s, and they waited this long, almost 100 years to replace this bridge. So anyway, I got injured. I had a serious back injury during the course of my duties in construction, and it partially paralyzed the left side of my body. I wasn't totally paralyzed, but I didn't really have use of my left leg, and so I went through what they call it workman's comp and went through therapy and all of that. And of course, they tried to deny me my workman's comp, and I ended up getting an attorney and got a little settlement from that company for my injuries. And I was looking for something to do. Now, that whole year that I was immobilized, I could not. I mean, I couldn't leave the house for a year, barely get around in my own room. So, but I did have a laptop, I did have access to internet, and I had always listened to talk radio and would be a caller into talk radio. But the kind of talk radio that was available was not, people that I saw eye to eye with on political or social matters, and they would always cut me off. I found that frustrating. They screen the calls, and if they don't like what they think you're going to talk about, you're not even going to make it on air. So I didn't like that, but I did come across another platform that was engaging in internet radio. So I started a program on there. Then it was just focused. It was just a program where I was hosting. It was called One Black Man's View. And it was a social political program. And I interviewed a lot of different people that was in the news or had a connection to a story that was in the news, like Gina Six. I think I interviewed the Louisiana NAACP chapter leader for the state. And from there, I then was like, you know what? This is just me by myself. But what if I came together with other black hosts to create a network, a black radio host talking about issues that, affect everybody, but it may affect us more so than others. And so I started a program called Black Talk Radio. And for whatever reasons, I'm going to say racism, the owners of this platform, because this is a white owned platform, did not like the name Black Talk Radio. They also did not like the
Okay.
content that I was covering. And I mean, they even made it personal where they had went to my website and was talking about, oh, your website is red, black, and green. What's that all about? And like black nationalism, they were pretty much equating black nationalism to terrorism or racism, reverse racism. And so a lot of white people on that platform would complain about the name of oh, what if there was a white talk radio? I would get those type of questions. I'll be like, well, that would be pretty redundant since just about all talk radio is white. So, I had that to deal with. And then they suspended me. They suspended me for my program from coming on air. It was me and some other people from coming on air for about 2 weeks, and we had one of the top programs, news
Okay.
programs, on that
Hello?
network.
Of course.
And so,
Go ahead.
so then when they suspended me, I was like, this is not a good feeling. This is unfair treatment. I didn't do anything. Why did they got a problem with me calling it Black Talk Radio when that is an industry term? That is a real industry term, which was not the sole reason, but one of the reasons I came up with the name, because people actually search for black people talking on the radio. You got the talk radio genre. Well, we're looking for Black Talk Radio. And so so when that happened to me, I was like, you know what? I got a background in communications from the United States military. I'm sure I can figure this out. I'm a self-taught web developer. I started building websites and learning to build websites in 1999 with my first personal computer. So I was like, you know what? I bet you I can create my own platform. And I did. I found out what the underlying technology was. I then started experimenting with different equipment because I didn't have $1 million. See, the person who started that platform was a multimillionaire from the call center industry. And so I didn't have that kind of money. I wasn't looking at it as a business. I just wanted to talk about black issues that weren't getting talked about, or they weren't getting talked about in a way that was authentic or sincere. And so I was like, well, then I saw a video of Malcolm X talking about the power of media. He said, and his famous quote is, media is the most powerful entity on the face of the planet. It controls the minds of the masses. It can make the innocent look guilty and the guilty look innocent, and that's power. And it was like just a light bulb, went off in my mind. And I was like, yeah, this is what I need to be doing, and not just for myself, but I need to be helping other independent black media voices to also get their views out there and heard. And so I started the Black Talk Media Project, a nonprofit that I incorporated here in North Carolina in 2008, and been doing it ever since. So as they say, the rest is history.
Wow. Um, I am so impressed that you forged ahead and you turned the obstacles into stepping stones for you, and you didn't look back except just look back to learn and give you more fuel to move ahead. Well, let me say congratulations. And if it weren't for you going through what you went through, you and I wouldn't be on this show talking today. So I'm very appreciative that you did go through that, but you came through it. You went
Yes,
through it and you came through it on the other side.
I look at it the same way. I say thank you for practicing racism because your racism motivated me in a way that otherwise I may not have been motivated.
Unfortunately, that is something that's really prevalent nowadays. But in taking that subject alone, racism, there are people that have written books about it. So there are other people that have gotten rich just off that subject of racism. They've started companies in forging relationships and stopping racism and opening up racism with this group that had the three letters, the same letters. I'm not going to say which ones they were, are, but they're that's a business too, and it's because of what they do that keep other people in business, building coffins and so forth and so on. But that's we've both come a long way in both of the areas of our lives in what we're doing, and I see that we're going to be coming up to the halfway mark in about a minute. We're going to be going to station break. And I just want to thank everybody that's on the line today. It's today's entrepreneur. And for those that want to reach out to me, my email is today'sentrepreneur@gmail.com. Email me with all your questions, concerns. If you have, I'm looking for restaurants to critic, new businesses that are going to be opening that need shout out. If you have job announcements, employment opportunities, things like that, email me, Andrea James at today's entrepreneur dot. I'm sorry, today's entrepreneur at gmail.com. Today's entrepreneur one. Excuse me, I'm nervous. This is my first day, so bear with
Andrea,
me today.
Andrea, a more simple
Hmm.
way if they want to contact you in terms if they would like to be a guest on the program or if they would like to advertise on the program, just go to blacktalkradionetwork.com, look for the menu tab that says Today's Entrepreneur, and that is where you will not only you can listen to this program when it's live streaming on the network, but you will also have access to the podcast. But it also has a contact form, and that'll go straight to Miss James. And you will hear me from time to time as her technical engineer, and just helping her get through this. So that's what I'm here for. But if you have a question or a comment, the telephone number is 641-715-3660. The participant code is 549032 #. And anytime you want to ask a question to let me know as her technical producer, hit star 6 and 1, and I'll let her know and we'll get you on air. So, Andrea,
Thank you,
did you?
Scotty.
We have about 2 minutes before we go to our first break. Did you have any other questions for me?
Well, I'm just, you did most of your training, um, like on the job training. You didn't go to actual school for it. You just said, okay, let me just take the bull by the horn and run with this.
Well, I did, like, for example, I copyrighted a technical manual, so I am an author. I also, the technical manual is called mixing, wait a minute, it's internet radio mixing. I also developed a kit to help people to be able to mix audio for digital radio, that's online radio. And I also turned that into a DVD where people could watch me set up the computer, all the different settings and things of that nature. And I copyrighted the DVD as well. So I did draw from my experience or my training from the military because I was trained in communications, all different types of communications. I was pretty much self-taught myself everything on the internet. And while internet radio was kind of new to me, in terms of being able to mix the audio for a radio program, I just drew on my experience of routing that I learned how to route audio with cables from the U.S. military.
Wow. You put everything together. One, two, three, like a puzzle. And here you are, a success, an entrepreneur. Thank you. I'm 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 so impressed. I can't speak.
And you are listening to today's Entrepreneur with Andrea James. We'll be right back on the other side of this break.
Marcus Mosiah Garvey once said, "The greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization." If you believe it is finally time to organize, if you believe black people should have their own political party and understand the importance of block voting, but more importantly, understand and want to practice organized group economics, then you need to join the 1 million conscious contributors and voters. The founders of this organization hold firm to their belief that there are at least 1 million black people, or 2 out of every 100 black persons in this country, who have the best interests of black people collectively foremost in their mind. Are you one of the 2? If so, please visit the 1 million conscious contributors and voters website at iamoneofthemillion.com and be sure to join them for their national convention in Atlanta, October 21st through the 23rd, 2016. iamoneofthemillion.com.
Good morning. Welcome back to today's Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Andrea James, and this show is entitled Stepping Out on Faith. And Scotty Reed and I, my technical support, we're both just sharing our stories as to why it is we stepped out on faith. And if I can just say the call-in number again for those people who want to call in, it's 641-715-3660, pin 549-032 and I believe you have to either do #6
No, no,
or
ma'am.
star.
They just hit *6 on the keypad. And we also have
Okay,
a studio
star
line.
6.
The studio line is 704-951-5030.
Thank you for that, Scotty.
You're welcome.
Well, it's again, it's a wonderful day wherever you are, if you're working or if you're not working or if you're looking to um, step out on faith and be an entrepreneur. There is no time like the present. And I would say one thing that you need to do for those things that you don't know about is to surround yourself with those people that know more than you do, but are experts in the industry that you want to pursue or um, learn how to do a business. Say, for example, I wasn't necessarily looking to get into television and entertainment, but when that opportunity laid in my lap, I realized that it was right there in front of me. And when I did that show for 2 years, I was a stage manager, a camera operator. I was promoted to a producer after the first year, and we taped 3 shows, 3 half-hour shows on one Saturday a month, and we did that for 2 years and had a vacation during the summer from June to August. But I had 99.9% carte blanche as to who I wanted on the show. The only two things I didn't do was host and direct the show. And I loved every second of it. And going into our third year, I had a talk with the host and the creator of the show, and I asked her, is it possible that we could take the show out to the field for those business owners and or people in the know that couldn't come into the studio? Could we go out to where they are? And the creator and host of the show said, no, that's not the format that I want to go. So at that time, I went to her home and I was sitting at her feet. And I said, well, I have to tell you at this time, thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity and every second of learning and the things that I have learned and developed in doing that internship. It's priceless. I could not have paid for it, and I highly believe in on-the-job training. So that night I went home and I asked God, I said, God, with this training that I have now, what do I do with it? And he said back to me in my spirit, your own production company. I said, ding, 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 ding. So, in a, I'm not sure what time period, it took a couple of years, but A.R. James Productions was born. And I'm so excited to be where I am with my internet radio show in giving a platform for entrepreneurs in what they're doing in business. And speaking of, if you're
Andrea,
not
Andrea, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you have like three calls, and
okay,
yeah,
great,
we got like three callers and 23 minutes left in the program. So the first caller is area code 480.
great. Hi, 480. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Good morning and congratulations on your show.
Thank you. Who am I speaking with today?
My name is Isa too, and I'm in Tempe, Arizona.
Thank you so much for calling in, supporting a sister show. What can you share with us this morning about your being an entrepreneur? Or you have a question for
Actually,
me?
actually I did start the first couple of steps of a business idea that I had about a year ago, but right now I'm trying to figure out the funding process for it. So I was wondering if you had any information about grants.
Offhand, I don't have any information from grants, but I would say look up your local economic development organization, maybe through your city hall there, through the mayor's office. Also connect with different organizations that you might want to consider, the NAACP, Urban League. Go online, just looking up grants for what your type of business is. Look for SBA. SBA. Go to SBA as well. Also, there's things such as GoFundMe, crowdfunding, but there's women in business. Leave no stone unturned and let the internet do the walking for you. Let the internet do your research for you, but also start putting out the feelers. Also join a local chamber of commerce, and if there's a black chamber of commerce, or get involved with professional women's groups such as National Council, or I'm sorry, National Congress of Black Women, National Congress of Women. Start asking your business associates, people that you go to church with. Leave no stone unturned when it comes to doing your research. That's
Miss James,
that's what I say.
Miss,
Yes,
if I could add to that resource, yes, Smaller Business
please do.
Administration. Yeah, Small Business SBA. That's what that stands for, Small Business Association. But also, another source that I found could be your local congressperson, whether that's federal or state, because I know I subscribe to all the email. I have an email subscription for the congressional rep over this district, and they will send things out about businesses and developing local businesses and finding funds. They just recently had a conference in Washington D.C., and I'm sure a lot of those things was being discussed. So Miss James is correct. There are a wealth of sources out there. You just gotta, I would start there and just look.
Okay, thank you for that
Thank you so
information.
much for calling in. Please support us on Monday mornings. Are you on the East Coast?
Yes, well, no, I'm on the West Coast, Arizona.
Oh, you're. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Arizona in the house. Y'all was hot this summer.
All
But please tune
right,
in and please
thank you.
share this with all your friends, and we'll look forward to hearing you next Monday. And call us, let us know your progress. We want to keep up with you. We want to support you.
I sure will. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller, you said we had, Scotty, you said there was two more callers?
Yes, ma'am. The next
Great.
caller
I'm ready.
is area code 734. You're on today's Entrepreneurs with Andrea James.
Good morning, 734. How you doing? Welcome. Thank you for calling in today.
Hi, Andrea. This is Julie Morris from
Ah,
UIN.
Julie. Ha ha ha. Let me tell you guys about Julie. We met through, this is how the networking and collaboration goes. I've never seen Julie face to face. She's never seen me, but we connected. We have a mutual friend that connected us during the summer. And I called her to, she texted me some things and I support her. And this morning I called her. I said, Sister Julie, if you can, I'd love for you to call in the show. And there you are. So thank you. You have a question or comment for me or your business? What's your business, Miss
Well, we
Entrepreneur?
are we are Urban Information Network. We are an internet based company. But first of all, Andrea, I just want to congratulate you on your first show. I am so proud of you, and we definitely will be supporting you. And we have 3 affiliates up and running: Detroit, Cincinnati, and Chicago. We also, like I was telling you earlier, own rights to Bay Area IPTV. We are Internet Protocol Television. So I'm looking forward to working with you, and I want to thank you for inviting me to be a caller on your show. At a later date, I would like to just really talk about the business on one of your shows.
Of course. Of
So
course.
I know,
Well, I'll make that happen.
yeah, I know others want to congratulate you, so I'm not going to hold up your time, but I am so proud of you and what you are doing. And your assistant, I was listening to his story. I've been listening from the start of the show. He is really impressive. And I'm just so proud of both of you and what you're doing. And we just want you to know that a lot of people are backing you, and I'm keeping you guys in my prayers, and UIN is standing behind you.
Thank you, my queen. Thank you, thank you. And we look forward
Thank you.
to when you're going to be on the show. So keep it moving, keep pushing. And pushing means pursue ultimate sacrifice. Hallelujah. And you're at the hallelujah stage. That's one of my original quotes in my first book.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll let you get back to your next caller, but we will
Thank you,
be
my
talking.
queen. Thank you.
And
Love
you
you.
have a
Thank you
blessed
so
day.
much. You
All right.
too. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, next, Scotty. I'm
yes,
ready. Oh my
ma'am.
gosh, I'm so excited. You guys have welcomed me so much. I can't even cry. I'm so thankful.
Area code 301. You're on today's Entrepreneur with Andrea James.
Good morning,
Yes,
301. Thank you.
yes. Good morning, Andrea. Thomas Sterling from Bowie,
Oh,
Maryland. How are you?
Oh my God! Thank you so much. I didn't even know if you could spare the time. But
Yeah,
this is
I saw
oh
your
my
text last
God.
night. When I saw it, I was like,
Yes.
I'm not sure what it is, but let me dial in and see what I hear. But I am so happy that I did. And first of all, congratulations to you on your new show and your new platform. It is much needed, absolutely. And I also, before I forget, I also want to just say congratulations and thank you to your technical support, Scotty. I was listening as well to his story and how he just didn't let anything stop him, and that's what both of you are exemplifying today and this morning to everyone that is tuning in and listening. That you just don't let obstacles stop you. The old saying that when we get handed a bag of lemons, make lemonades, and that's what both of you exemplify. So my hat's off to both of you
Thank you,
for
Thomas.
it. Just don't stop, just keep it going. So I'll definitely be tuning in on Mondays and supporting every way that I can. And of course, you know me and how many things I have my finger dipped in. So somewhere along the line, I'm sure I'll come back on and hopefully be able to talk about one of those endeavors as well.
I would definitely welcome that. And let me just say, Thomas Sterling is another person that if he was standing in front of me and didn't talk, I couldn't say, "Hey, Thomas, how you doing?" Because he's another person we met some years ago doing another type of business, and there was another business we were in during the summer, and I heard him on the call, and I called him and I said, "Oh my gosh, Thomas, they got you before I did." And Thomas is a go-getter. He's another type of person, very professional. When it's something that he believes in, he's off and running, and he definitely supports Black people in business. And I am so happy that I know him and that he gives me words of wisdom. And he's not only helping me, he's helping hundreds and maybe even thousands of other people too as well that have also stepped out on faith. Thank you so much, Thomas, and I will take you up on that in the near future. And I'm in tears now. The fact that you called in, I'm just thank you so much. So I'll make that happen. That I'll be talking to you off air. But let me just say, whatever you're doing, you research it, and if it's good, you're going to share it. You don't keep your mouth shut. And I thank you for doing that.
Absolutely,
Thank you,
absolutely, and
Thomas.
I'm so again congratulations and so proud to see you stepping out on faith.
I had no choice.
That's what we all have to remember, that life is a journey, and every day we know it or not, every day God gives us another day. We get up and we walk out that door. We're stepping out on faith every single day. So never leave home without Him.
Thank you. Sure. Got a pocket full of it.
Okay.
Okay, Scotty, I got
We have two more
two other.
callers.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, we have area code 626 that's on the studio line. Give us just a second. There's a caller that's
I
ahead
think
of
I know
you.
who that is.
But 626, hang tight. We want to go first to 313. 313, you're on today's
That's out of
entrepreneur
Chicago, I think.
with
Go ahead.
Andrea James.
313, that's the great city of Detroit, Michigan. Craig
Good
Mitchell is in the
morning.
house.
Ah!
Now living in Charlotte, North Carolina. Scotty, we got to get together, buddy. We live in the same city, so we got to meet up sometime.
See, and that's one of the things that I do. I connect people with people, people with business, and business with business. Greg's another person that I know his father here in Southern California, but if Craig was standing in front of me and didn't open his mouth, I wouldn't know who it was. But that's
Amen. I just want to say congratulations. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. What a mighty God we serve. And I just want to congratulate you. And a lot of people don't know your story. I remember the times when you were struggling. And
oof,
now look to see what God has done for you in your life. So I just want to say, continue to stay on the battlefield, continue to keep pressing your life. First, He is the head, and just
not
continue
to
to press
tell.
forward to Mark, and everything's going to be all right. I'm glad to be on here. My dad could not make it on this morning.
Right, he's
Um,
probably already at work. Yeah.
yeah, it's 11 o'clock here in Charlotte, and by me being retired, I can just get up at any time and do what I do. So I just praise God for you, and thank you so much for inviting me on this call this morning.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks for calling in, and I look forward to your support and you spreading the word. And I'll be following up with you as anything that information that you can give me from your city.
Yeah.
because I'm taking it and announcing it. This is a worldwide thing. It's not just
Yes.
here in my backyard or in your backyard. This is worldwide because that's all I asked him to do. Let me start in my backyard, but at the same point, go as far as I can, and that's around the world. So, wow, I'm hitting California, Detroit, other cities and states are my first time out. How good is God? Thank you so
Yeah, man.
much.
You're welcome.
And just
Okay,
a quick,
Scotty, I heard you had that 626 number.
yes, ma'am. Just a quick note to that was Greg from Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't actually live in Charlotte. I live just outside of Charlotte in a little town, well, outside of a little town called Mount Holly. So we're in between Charlotte and Gastonia, but would love to meet up with you. Yes, we do, Miss James, have another call from the area code 626 on the studio line. 626. You're on Today's Entrepreneur with Andrea James.
Good
Good
morning. I
m-
think I know who that is, and I gotta, if they would go ahead and announce themselves. Thank you. Welcome, caller 626.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. This
Well,
lady, let me tell you guys, if it weren't for her,
oh my God, I am
I
so
wouldn't be
glad.
doing this show because she connected me to Scotty, and she talked about her show, and she said, Andrea, you ever thought about doing your own show? And I said, sure, I have. But she watered the plant, the seed, because it was dormant. So thank you for watering that plant. And here I am because of you and Scotty and God, number one, and me listening to him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm so glad to see that you're on. I got the text message and I read it with one eye, of course, and I thought, wow, this is great. She's doing the show. That's absolutely fantastic. And Scotty, do you see how things work? Do you
Yes.
see how things work? I was listening to a program. As a matter of fact, it was in church not yesterday, but last week. And the pastor was talking about what we are supposed to do in our lives and what God meant for us to do. And he referenced the path that we're all supposed to take. And he said, God laid it for us and it's supposed to be a straight line. He said, most of us are living our lives in a circle. We continue to do the same thing over and over. We don't walk that path, that straight line that God has for us. And you're walking the line, Andrea. You're walking the line. You're back on the line. And this is really, really great. Not only is this great for you, but just know that from here, everything goes up. Everything
Yes.
goes up. And this is indicative of what we're talking about on Change Matters. This is absolutely, I'm so happy for you. I'm really,
Thank
really,
you.
really happy for you. This is the beginning of something very new, very great, very special. This is on God's path. And
Yeah, it's I've been praying
you
for
know
it.
that
I've been preparing for it.
absolutely, you know that I've been an entrepreneur all of my adult life. And
Oh boy, and your story has just
this
floored me.
is the best way to go. I've been an entrepreneur in two different fields. And I can tell you, working for someone, eh, that ain't the way to go. If you have it, use it. It's God's gift. And this is what you're supposed to do, Andrea. I can tell in your voice that you're having a great time. I can tell in your voice that you've got excitement, you're passionate about it, you've got something to share, you've got something to say. Get it out there. And what better way to do this but on Black Talk Radio? This could not be better. This could not be better. And when my co-host and I discovered Scotty, we talk about this every day. This is what we do. And he's not an entrepreneur. I am, but he will be an entrepreneur. And I'm telling you, watch your clock because he's going to be an entrepreneur in just a minute. But joining Black Talk Radio Network was one of the best things I've ever done. And I am so proud to be a part of it. And I'm so proud and so glad that, Andrea, that you have come aboard. This will do nothing but grow and get better and get better. And I'm not talking about over a period of time. I'm talking about daily. because this is getting ready to blow sky high. This is great. This is absolutely great. So I'm glad to see that you took that leap. It was simply picking up the phone, calling Scotty, and saying, "I'm ready. I'm ready," and it's done.
Yep, I stepped out on faith. That's today's show, stepping out on faith.
And listen, and that's what you've done. And it works.
Yes.
I've done that. I've done that. I moved to Houston. It was a call of faith, a leap of faith. I did that, and I loved Houston. I came back to California. But guess what? Guess who's going to be in Texas real soon? Real soon. I'll be there next month laying the groundwork to call Texas home. It'll be Dallas this time. I love both places. That's where we all need to be. And as Kenny Hendricks always said, we need to get out of the big cities. The cities were not for us. We need to be in other parts of the country. And that's where I'm going. That's where you see Scotty's in North Carolina. Because that's where Black
Okay.
folks need to be. That's where we need to be. So you've done it,
Right.
girlfriend. You've done it. Go ahead. More power to you.
Thank
Give me
you.
that high five. Wow.
Well, I
Hey.
didn't want to say anything. I wanted to leave it for you as a last minute surprise, and that's what I did. So I thank you for just seeing it in me and giving me that prod that I needed, and here I am.
Here you are.
Wow.
You here. So it's got to be great. It's got to be great. Well, I'm going to let you close out your show. I'm going to go on, and congratulations, and holler back when you get a chance. And don't forget,
I sure
Change
will.
Matters on Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m., 10 a.m. Central, and 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll talk to you later. Take care.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Scotty, we're almost down to the last 2 minutes of our show, and there's two segments that I wasn't able to get out, or maybe even three. Um, another segment is job announcements, employment opportunities, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about real quick is FEMA is hiring. And if you go to www.usajobs.gov, which is www.usjobs.gov, and put in city Pasadena if you're in Southern California at all, and FEMA in the Pasadena area is hiring. $19 an hour. They're looking for 2 shifts. The location for employment for the next 3 to 6 months is Pasadena, California. Department of Homeland Security, Federal Management Agency, better known as FEMA, local hire, full time, not to exceed 120 days if possible, must reside within 50 miles of Pasadena.
Miss James,
And yes.
I have a question about that. Is that permanent or is that temp work?
Temp work for the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
But who knows, within that time period, I have a dear friend of mine. I worked for the Northridge earthquake for FEMA right after the Northridge earthquake back in 1994. And a friend of mine who I met at that time, we were both working at the Pasadena office. And his job was only supposed to be for, I think, a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months. It's been just about 20, 25 years. So that was a blessing, and he was in the right place at the right time.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
even though it's 3 to 6 months, and I believe it's for this Hurricane Matthew that just happened.
Yes, ma'am. It's a lot
So,
of damage here in North Carolina, South Carolina, up and down the eastern seaboard, all the way from Florida to North Carolina. But you're right. I've had plenty of permanent jobs. Well, not plenty, but 2 permanent jobs that started off. I started off working for a temp service in construction, doing construction work, and they saw that I was a hard worker and I was willing to learn and I wasn't afraid to get dirty, and I jump down in that ditch with a wrench and get to working on them pipes, and hey, those positions turned into permanent positions, good paying permanent
okay, wow,
positions.
I need to take a shower. It just got muddy. No, I'm gonna keep my day job. I tell you, you sound like the type of man that um, hard labor, with your hands or working with your mind. Either way, you come out on top with ching ching.
I just
You
been
made it work for
blessed.
you.
I just been blessed by the Creator. That's all, and I just try to use
And
my gifts to the best of my ability.
and you showed up, and let me thank you for keep showing up. Well, the other job announcement that I have for today is, and I heard this on, I just happened to listen to another radio show early this morning, and LAPD is hiring. How about that? Well, let's just pray for those officers that do go through the school and get accepted as officers, that they be part of the good cops and not the other ones, because we need more good cops. We haven't been in the news in what, maybe a week or so? Yay. But let's love on each other and don't look down on each other, because when God made man, he only made two kind. He made man, and when he made human being, he made man and he made woman, and that was it. So we have so many more Christians out there, but whether you're a Christian or not and you want to be an entrepreneur, this is the place to be on Monday mornings, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Central, and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my other segment is restaurants. I have a restaurant. I'm a restaurant critic, and there's one restaurant that I want to talk about real quick, Crazy Creole, located in Long Beach. They're closed on Monday, but Tuesday through Sunday they are open. Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. On Sundays, noon to 9. They are located at 900 North Long Beach Boulevard. The food is off the chain. I felt as if I was a crazy Anna Creole when I walked out of there. It takes you from Louisiana here to California and anything in between. The food is off the chain. Their website is www.crazy-creole.cafe, and they're on Facebook too, Crazy Creole. But Guy and his wife and family and friends that come in there and support and work hard. Once you come back, you will not say I ain't coming back. You once you go there, you always come back, and I've proved it time and time again. Also, businesses, if you're starting up a business that's getting ready to open and you want a shout out, um, let me know about that as well, or any business announcements, economic development, anything in those areas, anything having to do with entrepreneurship. We are here to serve you. And I want to say we're about at the end of the show. Scotty, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. If you just want
Okay, well,
to leave them with a final word.
I just want to say today, thank you again, Father God, for having everybody that crossed my path today and that you go before us to keep our road straight. This is Andrea James, today's entrepreneur, and today I leave you with the words of breaking chains of poverty, creating bonds of prosperity. Stay in touch with God. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Love you so much.